I'm Wendy Rutledge with Palm Beach TV, a production of the Palm Beach Civic Association. Here's a preview of what's coming up on this week's newscast. Prices are skyrocketing, multiple offers, contracts on homes in hours, not weeks or months. We'll get firsthand insight from some local experts on this red-hot real estate market. When will Palm Beach rev up its vaccine program again? And what about those new strains of the coronavirus? We'll take our questions to a respected expert. What will come of the standoff between two Sloanes Curve condos and the town, with millions of dollars of federal grant money at stake? And to juice or not to juice? That is the question we will tackle in this week's WOW segment, Word on Wellness. It's all coming up next on the Thursday, February 18th edition of Palm Beach TV. If you're selling, you're smiling. If you're buying, well, you're probably gritting your teeth. This is one very fast-paced, breakneck real estate market that's going on here on the island of Palm Beach. And according to the experts we spoke with, they've never seen anything like it before.
I've been doing this since the late 80s, and the pace on this market is like none I've seen.
Suzanne Frisbee, broker with the Frisbee Group and part of the development team for the retail residential development Via Flagler, calls the current run on Palm Beach real estate frenetic. 30-year real estate veteran Linda Olson agrees.
You have 25 homes for sale on the island that are 10 million and below. That's a record.
Meaning a record low inventory. In fact, though the island is home to about 2,500 single-family residences, there are a paltry 49 homes for sale right now, ranging from that highly sought-after under $10 million price point to $110 million. Brokers now, in fact, have buyer waiting lists.
It's well into the double digits of people who want something, looking for something, want to be in a different property than they're currently in, or waiting to find a property that works enough for them.
Needless to say, it is a red-hot seller's market.
You're getting, in some cases, almost double what you were getting a few years ago. A house that was, for example, $3 million several years ago could certainly be close to $6 million, which sounds ridiculous. But it's just that there's so little inventory and everybody fleeing here from the taxes in New York and Chicago and California, never mind the COVID flight.
The sale of this property right behind me, 535 North County Road, really kind of tells the story. It is a new build, 9 bedrooms, 19 bathrooms, 21,000 square feet, and it just broke a record for a sale of $123 million. So who are these swarms of new buyers?
The lion's share of the buying community is New York or greater New York, with additional Boston, Chicago, some Texas, now some California. Pretty soon you were homeschooling and you needed space for that. Pretty soon you were working at home and you needed space for that. You were doing whatever else you do at home. So a lot of priorities about location and space started to shift and move.
Yet with prices through the roof and few homes available to buy, savvy realtors are advising reluctant sellers to list now and buyers to be patient and be ready to pull the trigger.
He who hesitates is lost. If you see a property that you like, my advice to you is do not think about it. Sign a contract with your agent and put something out there and get it done.
Since last March, there have been a cumulative 500 cases plus of COVID-19 on the island of Palm Beach, and that sounds ominous. But the good news is that the transmission rate of COVID-19 is going down. Even so, there are new strains of the virus among us, and most of the island still has not gotten vaccinated. So with all of this going on, we took our questions to local infectious disease expert Dr. David Dodson.
In terms of a pandemic, I'd say we're we're probably in about the fourth or fifth inning of a 9-inning ball game. So we're coming along, but we have ways to go. There'll be bumps in the road, there'll be new twists and turns, but we are making progress. So in the United States, it's a remarkable thing that these vaccines have been developed and distributed so quickly. I know everybody's frustrated that we don't have enough, but when you step back and look, to have a vaccine developed in a matter of months, not years, it's a remarkable thing.
Some prognosticators are predicting a fourth wave of the virus, maybe over the summer.
Yep.
What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so what we're witnessing is evolutionary biology in real time. So the virus, all the virus wants to do is survive. So it infects human beings, and if we throw up a barrier like a vaccine, then the virus is going to mutate to get around whatever barrier we try and throw up, so it can thrive. So we've actually, over the course of this pandemic, we've seen a number of variants evolve. The first one was actually in April of 2020, very early on into this. So we had the first virus from China, and then it got into Europe, and then it evolved to infect more people. And then in August of 2020, the UK variant emerged. And then that has spread. It's now in the United States. Florida has the most identified cases. And we predict that the UK variant may become the predominant variant in the United States.
Are we going to be protected with the current vaccinations to the UK variant?
Well, that's the question. So the virus is trying to mutate, so the vaccines don't protect people, so it has more victims, if you will. Our vaccines are trying to protect us. The early data right now is that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines do seem to protect against the UK variant, the B.1.1.7. What we don't know is there's another variant, the South African variant, and that's been identified in a few states. We don't know how well the vaccine protects against that one.
What do you tell your patients who have tried and just can't get that darn vaccine yet?
Well, it's incredibly, the vaccine situation is incredibly frustrating because the demand far outstrips the supply at this point in time. Now, the government has bought hundreds of millions of doses of the vaccines. The newest vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, is coming up for approval. That will help ease the shortage. So with time, it's going to get better. By the end of the year, anybody who wants a vaccine will have had a vaccine. So, but all we can say is just be patient. We're trying to do the best we can as a country.
One major point that Dr. Dodson wanted to make sure we get across is that in the vaccine trials for all of the available vaccines, not one single participant in those trials went to the hospital and not one single person died. So the bottom line is you should get any available vaccine. So where can you get the vaccine? Well, here on your screen, we are listing all the places we are aware of that currently offer the vaccine, starting with the state pre-registration website, also the healthcare district in the county. There are several private facilities where you can get the vaccine, although you do need to be a patient with that facility. And if you are a veteran, you can go to the VA. So please do not hesitate. Pursue any of those, including Publix, as an option to sign up for a vaccine. Danielle Hicksmoore, known by her friends as Donnie, has been a fixture in local Palm Beach politics for years now. She served on advisory boards, on the town council, was even president of the town council. Well, now she is the unopposed candidate for mayor. So we caught up with Donnie Moore to learn more about her vision for the town.
Well, I'm so happy to be here. We're sitting in the Earl E.T. Smith Park, which is part of my heritage. I was very proud to have Earl Smith as my stepfather, very blessed as a matter of fact. But for the people who don't know who I am, I was born in New York City many moons ago now. Moved here when I was just a baby and really have never left other than to go off to Duke University. And I came back after graduation to help take care of my grandmother and my stepfather and thought, where else would I rather live than this beautiful island of Palm Beach? So I stayed. Then I decided if I was going to stay, I needed to be a productive part of our community. So I got married. I have two wonderful little girls who are 11 and 12 at the moment. I'm raising my family here. They go to the same school that I went to in West Palm Beach, Rosarian Academy. Um, and I'm just so proud of them. And I'm so proud of our town. And no, I'm just so happy to be here. And I think that part of the legacy that I'm sort of fulfilling is that you have to give back to your town. You have to give back to your community, whether it's as my job as president of the Mary Alice Fortin Foundation or the boards I serve on. And I just really wanted to be super involved when I got back here. And the town has offered me that incredible opportunity. I served on the rec commission, I served on planning and zoning. Of course, my stepfather was the mayor, my mother was the mayor, and now I am grateful that I will also be the mayor.
A family tradition.
A family tradition, and I think one that will be hard to beat for any other families around. But no, it's exciting. You know, I'm filling some really large footsteps. Gail is obviously a very close friend of mine, and has been long before she went into public office. She's a great woman, a family woman, committed to the town, committed to her family, and has accomplished so many things. So I'm excited.
And you know, you told me that you're excited about so many good things. Can you elaborate?
Sure. The town, well, the beach management agreement that Gail managed to work out with the Army Corps of Engineers and Tallahassee, it really was incredible. And it's one of the first and maybe only in the entire country to have that. So that's such a positive for us moving forward. I want to really continue a great relationship with our surrounding communities. They are, we have to be cognizant of what they do, that we're all working in conjunction, especially the ones along the coast. It's really important for us, and our family has a big commitment to the Glades. We just built a new Boys and Girls Club in Belle Glade. My mother has worked with the daycare center in South Bay for underprivileged children now for 25 years. So, I mean, I want to continue and maybe expand our involvement with some of the Western communities. So,
So Palm Beach is an island, but doesn't have to act isolated.
oh, absolutely not. I think that we get farther, we're more productive and more successful if we all work together.
And that is a message I think you'd like to share with everybody on this island. Is that not so?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it is one of the things that happens is people get in their own pod, you know, whether it's COVID or non-COVID. And once in a while, we just have to remember that we'll be more productive and more successful, and I think happier, if we're all working toward the same goal. We all have the same goal. We want Palm Beach to remain a vital part of the state of Florida. And we see that we have so many newcomers these days that I saw on CNBC and CNN and in the New York Post, that we want to welcome them here, but we want to remind them what our traditions are, and that what makes Palm Beach so special is those traditions, whether it's our landmarking process or the fact that we keep our streets clean, or that someone picks up our trash every day but Saturday and Sunday. The beauty, the history, and that's going to be part of my job, is to teach them what that history means, because they don't know it. And the only way they know it is if we help educate them as to what it means and what it really means to be a true Palm Beacher.
Right now, the renourishment project along the beaches in front of two Sloanes Curve condos has come to a complete and total stop. Lawyers for the condos are blocking the sand fill, a move that is jeopardizing the $10 million FEMA grant tied to the renourishment being finished by May 1st. Oddly, the condo's two biggest demands are actions the town would legally and ethically take anyway.
One, that we monitor to see if there's any adverse impacts from dredging where we were going to dredge, which is near their property but offshore. 2, they wanted additional sand placed if there were any adverse impacts. Those 2 things are, I don't want to say easy, but they're pretty much no-brainers. We would do that. We're required to monitor for adverse impacts, and we're required to mitigate for any adverse impacts. Plus, it's the right thing to do. If we did a project that caused harm somewhere, we would step in and fix it. So our permits require it, and we would do it anyways.
Town Public Works representatives and attorneys for the Sloanes Curve condos have met several times in the past few days to iron out their differences. No word yet on the outcome. One thing, though, is for certain. By blocking beach renourishment in front of their condos, the Sloanes Curve Group will put the $10 million grant at risk. And that money was to pay for sand from Reach 3 to the north of the condos to Reach 8 to the south. So this standoff potentially affects not just Sloanes Curve, but neighboring beaches to the north and the south of their patch of sand. Our weekly WOW segment, which stands for Word on Wellness, takes a look at a popular trend, juicing. Here's Healthcare Committee member Nikki McDonald with more.
Thank you, Wendy. Have you ever wondered what the difference is between eating a whole piece of fruit or a vegetable and juicing or blending? What's the difference? What's healthier for you? Today, Mark Bresnahan, who's head of the Rec Center, is going to take us through some of these questions. Hi, Mark.
How are you doing, Nikki?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Doing very well. Well, this is like one of my favorite activities of the week is juicing and then making my smoothie. So what I like to do is juice some of my fruits and vegetables and then mix it in with some of my other items in the blender. So let me just walk you through what I do for juicing. So I'll actually throw in the ginger, cucumber, celery, carrots, turmeric, juice it up, and then I bring it over to the blender and put it in with my whole spinach, frozen blueberries, coconut water, and then I blend it all up and then mix it up. It's such a great drink, and I feel so energized and ready to go for the week.
And Mark, why do you choose to put some things in the juicer and some things in the blender? What's the difference between the two?
You know, some things are just better to juice, but I think we really need to pull in the expert, Stephanie Bogdan, to really tell us why I'm juicing certain things and not juicing others and what the benefits are of it.
Terrific.
Hello.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi,
Thanks
Stephanie.
for joining us.
You're welcome.
So we were just talking about why you would use a juicer for some things, why you would use a blender for some things, and are whole fruits and vegetables better for you or the same as blending and juicing?
Sure. Well, Mark, you're definitely on the right track.
Great.
But your number one choice is to eat it whole. So the whole apple or the whole cucumber should be your first priority. But sometimes we're in a rush. Sometimes you just literally can't fit it all in your belly and you need a different way to ingest. So your next best option, like you said, would be the smoothie. You're still getting the whole food. It's just getting chopped up into a different form. So if you can't eat the whole piece of fruit or vegetable, blending it up is a great way to bring it on the go and to still get all of the fiber along with the nutrients.
Right. I noticed like the celery doesn't go as well in the blender. It's more, you know, as far as better to juice, so it's...
Exactly. It's all about what's palatable to you. For example, I don't want to ever drink spinach. I'd rather eat it in a salad. But if this works for you, then go for it. Absolutely.
Great.
The juicing is great. It still gives you the vitamins and the minerals, but it takes out the fiber. So in terms of digestion, your body's going to process it very quickly. So all of the sugars that are in the fruits are going to go instantly into your bloodstream. Whereas if you eat it whole with the fiber, it's a slower process for digestion and your body's going to use it over a little bit longer period of time.
Great. So one of the my must-haves in a smoothie is ginger. What do you think about that?
I love ginger. It's very strong. So some people shy away from ginger, but what they may not know is that it is huge in antioxidants. It's right up there with pomegranates and berries. So incorporating ginger in your juice is always a great thing. If you don't want to juice it, you can always cook with it. You could try to blend it, but again, it is very strong.
And Stephanie, could I make since I'm bringing all of this out, can I make my juice for the week all at one time?
It is not recommended, Nikki. The vitamin C that's found in many of these vegetables and fruits dies with heat and sunlight. So even the light in your refrigerator could start to break down the vitamin C. You really want to consume it within 3 days, 72 hours max. I like to drink mine within 48 hours.
Oh wow, that's great. 'Cause
Yeah.
I would juice for the week and think I'm good to go, but I really should be doing that 2 or 3 times a
For
week.
optimal nutrition, yes.
That's great to know.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie.
Terrific. Well, let's drink some.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There will be an election coming up for the town of Palm Beach on March 9th. That's coming up soon, and we are going to have a candidates forum that we will email to you in the next couple of days. So look for that in your email. Meantime, we still are in the midst of this COVID-19 crisis. So please wear these, wear the mask, social distance, stay safe, please. And if you are not a member of the Palm Beach Civic Association, we urge you to join us. If you are a member, please renew. We'll see you again next week on Palm Beach TV.